The Sims has a pretty big sale on right now. I think partially inspired by the new expansion pack that's coming out, which if you missed it, they're basically releasing a woohoo pack. It's like a dating inspired expansion pack. I'll link the video I made about the trailer down below in case you want to go back and watch it. But today I want to talk about the sale, and in particular this bundle called The Sims 4 Get Dating Bundle, which I am certain was a name that was in talks to be the title of the new expansion pack. I'll admit that I think Lovestruck is better, but Get Dating is kind of funny. And this bundle they're selling has the Get Together expansion pack, the Bowling Night stuff pack, the Movie Hangout stuff pack, and the Simtimates kit. So I guess it's meant to be like a couple of different packs that give you things to do on dates, but it just feels like a really weird combo of packs to be selling together. So I want to try and do a build using just these packs. Obviously we can't really use the underwear kit in the build, but I can use the others. And I want to see what we can do with this combination. This is also maybe a good time to mention that I have a creator code with EA. So if you buy the packs and you add promo code lilsimsie at checkout, I will earn a commission on your purchase. Oh. Okay, well, it does usually work. You don't have to do that, but if you are planning on buying any Sims packs anytime soon, it is a good way to support me or any of your other favorite Sims creators. So when I say they're kind of a weird combo, what I mean by that is that Get Together's build style is this very old, traditional Tudor style. And then the bowling pack is like mid-century modern stuff with lots of bright and bold colors. And Movie Hangout kind of has this like maximalist vibe with even more bright and bold colors. I just don't see these meshing together in a single build, so I guess that's the challenge today. I think we should build it in Windenburg, and I think I'll use this lot to do it. And I think I'm going for old house that's been recently renovated, so maybe like an old Tudor house that's got a new addition on the back. All right, let's start figuring out the shape of this place. I feel like it should be 2 stories at least, and honestly, I really did like the original lot that was here. Before, it had kind of like a small little courtyard in the front, and I think that we can bring that back. I just think it's a nice way for us to have some landscaping in what would otherwise be a kind of sad area because it's so covered in stone. Uh-oh. This might be kind of ugly. We'll see what ends up happening. It might be fine. Sorry, I don't know what I was thinking just then. I maybe need to have a smaller second floor. The neighbor also just started mowing their lawn, which is extremely unfortunate timing. Like, don't you know I'm busy playing Sims? How could you do this? Okay, this is not exactly the 2-story house of my dreams that I had in mind originally. It's definitely a little bit small, but that's okay. I don't even know if we can even have something up here. I'm trying this with that extra little roof piece. I don't really know. I think it's kind of a mess, but it's fine. Okay, now we gotta think about that modern addition that I was talking about because I do really like the idea of the addition in the back. I'm honestly super tempted to just have it look like this. I know it's kind of a random box, just kind of there on the back. There are some things that are a bit more modern from this pack. I don't know if I can personally bring myself to use them. I do not like this. In my mind, I was kind of picturing something more along these lines for the back windows. And I also thought that they would probably be all black. I wanted to have a really stark contrast from the rest of the house. I would love to have a fancier door, like one of the big open ones from one of the kits, but unfortunately that's not gonna work in this particular challenge. But like imagine if the whole thing was like a big black box, kind of like this with windows everywhere, and that's where the living room goes maybe. And we could totally have all of this be grass. And then this part becomes a little patio right next to the back door. I think that could work. It's weird, but I think it could work. Undecided on this part though. I don't know if that's too bad or not. Okay, I'm trying to use a very thin roof trim to avoid clipping. Okay, so here's what I've got so far for the roof coloring. I want to have a lot of white accents on this building, but I want the roof to be dark so it kind of brings in this dark addition. And before I do the windows, I might try and think about the floor plan real quick because I do not know how we're gonna split this up. Initial thought was that maybe this could be a lofted bedroom or like maybe a lofted office or something. We could also probably turn this weird part that's inside of the roof into a bathroom. And that might be a nice way to have some more stuff upstairs. So then downstairs, this is where the entrance goes. We need to have a bedroom and then probably a bathroom. The only problem is it's such a weird shape. Maybe this could become a bathroom and then this could be the primary bedroom. I don't know what to do. Oh no. Maybe we switch it so that this room becomes bigger. It won't hurt to have a bigger room. It's not bad. That does give us a huge hallway right off of the front door, which I don't love. Oh, and we're gonna have to use base game cabinets. Oh my God, that's the worst part of this. Honestly, if you're gonna buy just one pack, I would buy a pack that has a kitchen set. That is my advice to you. If you're gonna pick just one, that's what I would pick personally. I'm not planning on keeping this exact layout, okay? I'm just trying to figure out where the furniture should go. Okay, I've kind of limited the amount of windows that we have. This looks kind of bad. I will admit that, okay? I know that it looks kind of weird. I have some ideas of ways to help, something like that. And then I have a wall that I can put the TV on. That's my main motivation here. So again, it won't be this furniture, but I'm thinking the layout could be kind of like this. And then we have primary bedroom, primary bathroom. And then up here, maybe this becomes a kid's room and a kid's bathroom. And we could turn this into like a little office space next to the front door. It could even be closed off, but I don't know if I should do that. Okay, I think we've got a vision now. I think we can make this work. The purple is interesting. I hadn't really considered that as an option, but actually I kind of like the vibes of the light purple. Maybe we'll be able to make something like that work. Oh no, that looks bad. We do have this cute little flower box, and that kind of has the purple energy that we're going for. I also like the idea of a big long line of windows right there in that living space. And we can do smaller windows here because that's where the kitchen is gonna go. I'll see about how I want to place those once I put the cabinets in. Small window in the bathroom, maybe. There's actually some pretty good light up here in this small dormer space, which is actually kind of nice because you'd think it would be darker. Oh no, no, no. This whole part's a mess. I don't hate it. It needs some help, but I don't hate it. And then on the side of the house, I guess I'll just put those windows like that because it's even. And we could probably get some landscaping right here. The hardest part of a build like this is always just trying to lay everything out. Like the starting point of trying to figure out where stuff goes and how it's gonna look. But then once you've got that, it all kind of starts to come together. I was gonna use columns on the corners, but they're sort of clipping, which is rude. I wish that it wouldn't clip with the roof, but I don't think you can change that. I think I might also put it up on like a one high foundation just to have a little bit more of something. Oh, you know what I could do is angle this slightly, because then I won't do that anymore. It is gonna cause it to clip more with the roof, like in that little section, but that's only slight, and I kind of like the curviness of it all. This part was already clipping, so if I make it more, maybe it's better. Do you think that this fence kind of ties together the modern black metal with the white trim? Because I think that kind of works. Ah, I deleted my stuff. I've always been so annoyed by the fact that we have this beautiful fence that comes in the pack, but there's no railing that matches it. That's classic Sims 4 though. Giving us all this nice stuff, but it doesn't quite match anything else. I'm trying to get kind of a mix of colors with the purple and the white so that we match these planter boxes. So this is what I've come up with for the landscaping. And then I'll add in trees, so it'll hopefully cover up the build a bit better. A little tree goes a long way. It just helps to have something back there. I really like this tree, but I never know if it's too much when I put it, so hopefully it's fine. I'm gonna add in a couple other little bits. Ah, I forgot that there's not a plain white version of this, so if I want to use the wallpaper from this pack, I have to use like the beige or a blue. And if I use this blue, you're all gonna say, oh, blue suburban, blue suburban. So I don't want to use that one. I'm kind of trying to use these to get some more interesting shapes where I can, because stuff like this with the little wood trim actually looks really cool. And I think that is the whole exterior finished, finally. So let's start thinking about the inside. This is where we really have to start thinking about what's gonna work because it's kind of scary out here. There's some kind of cute stuff. Like this is a really nice little bit of patio furniture, but if we're gonna use that, we have to like really commit to it. I also have this lovely rug. It's just so busy. So it's kind of scary to try and use. It's daunting, I guess is a better word. And then you look at bowling stuff, and we do have a couple things. Like I have this nice bowling rug, but I don't know. I think maybe we should have the kids' room upstairs be bowling themed. That is so silly. Such a ridiculous thing to say, but it's cool, right? And we've got all this clutter and we've got some interesting artwork and stuff, so we can make it work. There is a sofa from this pack, but I don't think I should use that. If anything, I might put this as like a hallway sofa because you can kind of scoot that like a bench in there. It does come in orange, but maybe I'll try and use this mint color. Okay, so right now I'm kind of thinking plain white in the kitchen. I know it's not ideal, but if we did this, then we have a little bit more wiggle room to mix and match other stuff in. And I think adding things like the dishwasher and the appliances, it helps to break it up. Oh my. I wish there was an in-between of the rug sizes because I would love to have a nice big rug, but this is too big. Oh, look at these. I don't know if I've ever used this chair before. We also have these, which I don't know. know. That's so weird. Okay, interesting plan. Giant plant in this big corner. Kind of modern, kind of cool. We could go for a slightly more plain coffee table. This one has some black, so it does bring a little bit more of the stuff in. Look, I know it's looking kind of bad. I know it's looking weird. Just trust me. I'm gonna see if I can make it work. Maybe this flooring is not helping us. Like, maybe it would be better for us to pick a lighter color. We knew it was gonna be a challenge when I decided to do it. We knew it was gonna be bad. We can't sit here and act surprised. We knew going into it was gonna be a rough one. Oh, I used to do this all the time. I used to take this thing and like hide it inside of the cabinets so there would be something hanging down from it. I actually do kind of like that. I haven't done it in years, but that was like a staple of every build that I did for a while. Do you think that having this on the kitchen counter is too busy? And then maybe I could use the bowling night lamp over here. It does come in orange, but at what cost? Let's do the plain white one. Uh-oh. No, 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 no. It froze. It froze. It froze. No, 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 no. I haven't saved a single time. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, it's fine. Everything's fine. Oh, I could use this table instead. More bowling stuff. I will take any excuse to use bowling stuff in this room. Okay, what do we think about having a pink dining table? I think that's a little bit odd. This thing is so nice, but most of the colors are kind of hard to use. I'm wondering if I can take it and size it down and then put it on the dining table. The only thing I haven't really used much of inside of this room is get together. I've got the chairs, but most of the outside is get together. It's the interior that hasn't had it as much. Oh, we can put this umbrella. We also have some decent clutter that we can put in the kitchen. Like maybe this thing could go in here. Oh, and this might be cute for the kids' room. Oh, that's nice. I never used this either. Okay, sorry, distracted. Sometimes you just discover things when you're playing this game, you know? There is a bookshelf that comes in Get Together. I just don't know if that really fits with the vibes because everything else is much more modern, but maybe that's okay to mix in some older stuff in there. We do have these movie hangout doors, so I'm wondering if that might be a fun way to bring in some of that like fancy old look to the house. I always want to use those, but feel like they're kind of hard to fit into different stuff. I thought that they left. Why is it happening again? It's so loud. I'm actually gonna make this into a little fake closet. In my mind, if you had other packs, you might want to make it into a laundry room or like a storage room for the season's decor box. Maybe the litter box could go in there, but we don't have those packs for this build, so I'm putting a fake closet. I don't really know if this wallpaper is okay. It's not really what I was picturing. The other option is maybe to use the orange toned one, but I think I want to bring in some more of the blue and maybe I could get some orange decor on these items. Like, oh, I could put orange lights. It's kind of ugly. I'm not just saying that to be self-deprecating. I think I mean it. It's just an extremely weird color combination and that's okay. It's not like it's a bad thing to have a weird color combination, but it is hard to do at times. It's kind of hard to see, but I finished both the bathrooms. I think that this rug kind of has doormat energy if it's sized down enough. It's just that the colors are kind of wacky. This one also has obviously the exact right colors. So I might use this for the office and I may even use some of the really old stuff from the pack as well. Like this old fancy desk. I'm gonna try this giant plant as well. I really like having a lot of big plants in here. I've been doing it all over the place. Is this a weird time to put a couple of bowling trophies? Maybe I could like slot a bowling trophy onto this shelf. I'm also kind of wondering now about this bowling cabinet. It's too much, right? Like that's too much for any of us to commit to. We can all agree it's too far to add that in. I'm very curious about some of these tapestry items. That one looks quite similar to our rug, so maybe we could use that here in the entry. This thing is enormous, but I'm gonna use it anyway because I think that looks beautiful on top of that table. And maybe I could put a book or something. I do think that these books help to bring in some of the extra color that we're trying to have. So that I think is the downstairs. I'm second guessing myself. I think it could be done. I'm trying to see if there's any last minute things that I want to go through and add in. Does this come in orange? I actually hate that layout. I'm serious, I do not like that at all. It's funky, it's cool, it's got some fun clutter, it's functional. I think that is the full living space. Let's do this bedroom now, and unfortunately, we don't have a single bed from any of these packs, so we have to use a base game one. We're also gonna wanna use, I think, the movie hangout rug again, but I wanna pick a different texture. Maybe that one could be good. That's the same as the tapestry, but let's just commit to it anyway. Oh my god. This really is so much harder than it looks. I don't know how to mix these things together. You know what's honestly so fun? Sorry, I've gone upstairs again. I'm not even working on the downstairs anymore. But I was just thinking, how cool would it be to have these movie posters in the kids' room? Because they've got this really cool long hallway, so we could hang up some posters there. There is a distinct lack of bowling in this room, so I'm trying to figure out what else I can add. I guess we could use the bowling lamps again. Oh, there's like a little bowling bench. There's a lot of blue in here and not a lot of pink. Oh my god. That's too much. That is too much. Maybe I could do it in a lighter color though. The light pink's not horrible. However, just because the curtains exist does not mean that I should use them because I do not like these curtains. Oh no. You can do some interesting things with the base game curtains if you try hard enough. For example, they can be sized up. That looks pretty bad with it like floating off the wall. I can scoot the rug more though if I did that. I think sometimes you just have to accept that these things are going to be strange. This is the worst room in the house. I'm gonna do the kids' room now. Okay, here's what I've got so far in the kids' room, just as like a general layout. I think that this has to be centered or at the very least scooted over because your Sims have to be able to get around that thing. But then we can do some kind of interesting stuff. We can get like some kids' toys. I actually think it would be really cool to have a science table in here. Okay, so I'm trying to go through and add in clutter places. I'm starting to get like little posters and things on the walls. Tempted to make the walls really bright. I know it's horrible, but it's kind of fun. So this is what we've got for the upstairs. I want to pretend that this is being used as like a vanity almost. Uh-oh, that's gonna be too far over. So I'm putting some products on here. Maybe they like put their skincare on right here in this area. And then last, I think I'm just gonna get a standing mirror. I don't know if it's really bad to have that like facing directly towards the bed. But it's the best wall for it in this room. So I think I'll leave it like that. And that might be the whole interior of the house complete. So we have a couple last minute things to do on the outside. For example, we could definitely use some terrain paint added in around here. And I haven't put anything in the backyard yet. There's not really that much stuff that would work back here though. I do think we should get a small gate. Ooh. Do any of the gates look not bad? That's the big question. That one's okay. I think I want to put this back here in this corner because that's for movie hangout and it's so cool. I'm trying this. I've got a little table and a grill because that brings in some more of the purple. I thought about having this item, but I don't think it works with that umbrella. So I think what I shall do instead is get monkey bars. I think I'll also put one of these telescopes because I just feel like it's really nice to have those. I always try to have something on my lots to build logic skill. Maybe it's a telescope, maybe it's a chess table. The telescope's a bit more fun because your Sims can die. That is probably a bad mindset to have and a bad thing to admit, but that's how I feel. And I think that I've enjoyed this build. It's definitely a little bit funky. I know that there's some really weird parts to it. I think the layout's kind of cool and the color scheme is cool. The bedroom's not very good. But everything else I think is a pretty interesting way of combining the packs together. I have never ever thought to try and use these packs together for a build, so it's interesting to try and experiment and like pair them and see how it turns out. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Here's kind of a top-down overview of the finished product, and then here is the second floor. It's a little bit harder to see up here because of the roof, but I think it's cool. It's not very big, but it's cool. Oh my god, this clock is so annoying. That's gonna push me over the edge with the game almost crashing and oh my god, Sims 4 is testing me today. It is up on the gallery in case you want to download it, and I think on that note I'm gonna end this video right here. I am officially back from my trip to TwitchCon. The past week or so of videos was pre-recorded because I was traveling, but I'm back now. So things are back to normal again. I'm also back to streaming again, so if you want to come hang out, I'll link my Twitch channel down below. We're gonna be doing some building tonight on Twitch, and this week we're gonna build the new house for my legacy challenge. So if you watch the Bell family at all on YouTube, we're gonna make their new house in a couple of days. So follow me on Twitch now so you don't miss it, and I'm gonna catch you all tomorrow. Okay, bye everybody. If you saw any cats running around behind me, I am sorry if it was distracting. I've got 3 cats and there have been 2 of them in this room the whole time I filmed this.